Raid stared at the laser-riddled body. It had once belonged to a beautiful woman. Beneath her form-fitting blue fatigues, she had the muscle tone of an athlete, and those high cheekbones, flawless skin, and chiseled brows. She could have been the face of an Intergalnet ad campaign. Her features were vaguely similar to Ms. Bounty, the host of Cirrus. Behind her, other women of similar beauty lay dead upon the grass in a long row, like chopped-down weeds. Dark boreholes penetrated their foreheads, execution style. They were artificials, all of them. Robots sheathed in a layer of synthetic skin to appear human. But that didn't make their deaths any less significant. Their AIs had been sentient, self-aware. They may as well have been human women. The stars peered down in cold observation from above, their light tinted blue by the anti-rad layer coating the glass panels of the geodesic dome, which showed no signs of damage. The internal atmosphere remained completely intact, the air breathable. Raid was viewing all of this from the comfort of his captain's seat aboard the bridge of the Argonaut. He had piped into the video feed of one of the Centurions sent down to the destroyed base, a combat robot named Algorithm. The robot was obviously upset because it did not advance for several seconds. "Are you all right, Algorithm?" Raid asked. "I am," Algorithm said. "I just need a moment." "I understand," Raid said with a heavy heart. "Proceed when ready. Check if any of the AI cores are recoverable." None of them were. Nearby, the fist-sized HS-3s moved in and out of the different 1- and 2-story concrete buildings, fanning across the dome interior. Raid glanced at the overhead map created by those scouts. So far, neither tangos nor signs of life had been detected. This was the base of operations Cirrus had created in human space, located on the moon Taurus 62, and administered under the guise of her company, Green Systems Incorporated. Raid had stayed in a guest house here once, after helping the Greens save their homeworld. And now those Greens had turned on them. Or more specifically, they had turned on Cirrus, who insisted on hunting the Phants who remained in this region of the galaxy, despite the order from her High Council to cease and desist after a peace treaty had been signed between the Greens and the other Phants. In short, she was cut off and isolated. The Greens left behind in this region of space had severed all ties with Cirrus and had attempted to drain her bank accounts. They had only partially succeeded in the latter. Already, a Green in their region of space had personally betrayed the team. Corina. The Green had paid the price and was trapped inside the core of a star as her punishment, alongside the purple Phant she had aided. Cirrus had expected the Greens to effect some sort of retaliatory action upon her, and she had sent a warning to her employees at the base, instructing them to clear out. Obviously, that warning hadn't reached them in time. Cirrus had said at one point that she now hunted all Greens. After seeing what they had done to these innocent artificials, he understood why. The Argonaut had entered orbit on high alert. Raid was worried the Greens would attempt to lay some sort of trap, so he remained in full view of the rest of the system, hoping that any space-based attack would attract the attention of the nearby Franco-Italian military base. Unfortunately, that outpost was 4 planets out. Cirrus had purposely situated her operations center on the far side of that remote moon, and out of view of any prying eyes in the rest of Taurus system. That decision had proven a double-edged sword since it meant the base AI was reliant upon a lone comm node in orbit to communicate with the rest of the system. That comm node had been destroyed, preventing any distress signals from reaching the authorities. Cirrus had not yet notified those authorities of what had transpired here, and Raid wasn't entirely certain she would, given the sensitive nature of some of the tech she had down there. Even after Raid and his team were done here and the base was destroyed, she probably wouldn't. Which brought up another good point. Even if the base AI had been able to call for help, Raid wasn't sure the personnel actually would have. Raid's HS-3s and Centurions explored the remaining buildings in the current dome. The latter combat robots retrieved explosive bricks from their harnesses and attached them to the different structures as they did so. Over the next few minutes, the scouts discovered the bodies of 8 more artificials. When the current dome environment was cleared, the robots followed the paved walkway across the artificial turf to the perimeter. The hatch connecting to the adjacent dome had been burned through, its dark, jagged edges implying a plasma attack. Beyond, the buildings proved similar to the previous dome. The HS-3s dispersed, and the Centurions meanwhile headed toward a large warehouse possessing a wide garage door in front. That door had been bashed inward, but inside the building proved empty. "The Titans are missing," Louis said from his station. The Asian American had an ageless appearance, with skin so blemish-free and features so perfect, one would almost think he was an artificial. That was what years of cumulative rejuvenation treatments would do to a man. "I see that," Surus replied. The alien didn't reside on the bridge of the Argonaut like Raid, but viewed the proceedings from her quarters in the cargo hold. "Over there," Manic said. "Brat's point of view." Manic could have had the moth-shaped, port wine stain above his right eyebrow removed years ago, and yet he wore it as a badge of honor. He claimed it reminded him of his moth days. The stain appeared darker than usual, surrounded by purple tissue, likely the result of his most recent spat with Bender.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.